Why I don't see any super red arowana in here?
Asian arowanas, any of them are illegal. We can't have any kind of that type of arowana here. You can in Canada, which is real close to us, but you can't here. So it's against the law.
Okay, and what about the snakeheads? Because like in
Against the law.
still against the law.
Yes, I would love to have
any
them.
kinds of snakeheads.
Any kind. Not allowed to have them.
Okay.
Why, you have a big snakehead?
Yeah, I do.
I'm going to strangle you. Yeah, I'd love to have some big snakehead. They're
Because,
awesome fish. Have you seen the goonch back here?
Yep.
And the jowl cat?
Yeah.
You know what a jowl cat is?
Well, I know, but I've never seen one. This is my first time seeing it.
Oh my goodness. I went to the Shed Aquarium and they let me do a backstage, walkthrough. And I go up to this tank. It was a cement tank. I put my arm on it like this. And they're like, oh no, get your arm off there. I'm like, why? And they're like, the fish will attack you. I'm like, come on, I'm a fish keeper from way back. I know, don't worry about it. And the guy threw a piece of fish from over there right where my arm was. And this thing came up and nailed this water. He had a mouth this wide. And I'm telling you, it put the Arapimas to shame. This thing scared me. I jumped back. I looked down in there and it's a 5-foot jowl. I mean, he was every bit this long. He was about yay wide at the head. It was scary. I'm telling you, that's the jowl, the goonch, and the Paraiba. They are 3 of the 7 known man-eating catfish that we own here. There is 7 in the freshwater world that will eat people. Now the goonch, that's more of a, taking little kids underwater and drowning them. They pack them in the side of the river type thing and then take bites out of them. But yeah, this guy here, I would not want to swim with them. I mean, he can take an arm off.
Good job. What about the goonch? I mean, like, which one is more aggressive between these two?
Neither one of these, both of these are unimpressive. Unimpressive. We actually take food and put down by their mouth and release it, and then they eat. I'm like, big babies. I'm wanting to see some.
Yeah, because I was thinking to get a goonch back then, but then my friend told me that, well, you better not. Why? Because like they're just sitting in one place and do nothing except when there is a food coming in.
You know what's the best thing about having a goonch? Is telling people you have a goonch. That's it. They don't swim. They just sit there.
Okay.
Have you seen this guy? This guy is amazing.
I know, bro. This is like the biggest pleco I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah.
It's called an Adonis pleco. There he goes.
Damn.
He's amazing.
So massive.
People call me all the time. My pleco's gotten too big for my tank. I'm like, well, how big is he? Oh, he's 12, 13 inches. I'm like, bring him on by, and then I show them this one. They're like, oh my God, and I let them believe, for a minute that this is how big yours would have gotten. I don't tell them it's a different type, and they're like, oh, that would have got that big in my tank. I'm like, it's a good thing you brought him in quick. And then I tell them the truth, but I have fun with them.
Okay. And are you planning to put this marble gar someday in the pond?
Yeah, they are. We already had to remove fish from here. You can see that iridescent shark.
Yes.
He's all bit up. The albino gar was going after him. So we had to take him out of this tank and put him over to here to save him. So now he'll start going after somebody else in here eventually. When that happens, we'll have to move them to there.
I see.
I don't know if you've ever had this problem, but I've had an alligator gar, say 2 foot, took a 1 foot skinnier alligator gar and had him in his mouth and kept him there until it died and just swam with him. I'm like, oh my God. I come home, I found that, and we went in there with the broomstick. I'm trying to get him to let go. He let go and the other fish died. But if you see their bellies, you can tell how how well kept they are. Even the iridescent shark. We keep them full.
Can you tell me something about the electric eel?
Yeah, he likes to be petted. If you take this, I'll hold this open for you. Reach in and pet him.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
That's all right. Oh, look, he's shocking the water, lighting up the light. But, he won't shock you if you pet him. He likes to be petted.
No kidding. No way.
I've actually had people, when I did this, they're like, really? Let me see. I'm like, no! What part of electric eel didn't you understand?
Yeah.
He's sitting there, lighting up that light.
What do you think it's interesting about an electric eel? What do you find it interesting?
The most fun thing is how he lights up this light. 2 is how he eats. We'll throw a fillet in there, and he'll swallow it, and it'll continue shocking the water. Like, it's not dead enough. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. Plus, not to mention the size of them. They're just enormous. I mean, how would you like to run across one of them while you're swimming?
Okay, bro, like, what do you feed this fish?
Normally, all the cichlids eat pellets. We can take this lid off here. There's the pellets we feed. Ow, and I do this 4 or 5 times a day. Just throw that in there. And all the cichlids come from everywhere.
Wait, the cichlids, they're for feeder fish?
No. Nobody in here eats live. We don't feed live. We never do that. I feed the cichlids because the only other food I put in here is big fillets and shrimp.
All right.
And
sorry, but like, when they get eaten by the arapaima and the platinum,
they do not.
They do not?
You don't even see them chasing them. They're not interested. They are used to getting a big, fillet of tilapia and big shrimp. So every night they get their feeding, and the cichlids can't eat that stuff. It's too big for them. I throw them in here. These guys don't have to move. They get food thrown right at them. So they don't waste energy going after these little guys. We never even put cichlids in here. They just appeared from the filtration system. On the returns, babies. So then they started growing, and now you see there's thousands of them. And, they're not disappearing. They're multiplying. They're growing. So these guys don't bother them at all.
Unless they are starving, I guess.
If I would starve them, they would definitely start eating them. Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Not saying one or so won't get picked off here or there. I'm sure it happens at nighttime, but you can see the colony has been growing and growing and growing. It's getting more of an ecosystem than anything. So they're growing more than anybody's picking off anything. I don't want to say and live a fantasy life. No, nobody eats the cichlids. I'm sure that somebody has here or there, but as long as I keep them fed, there's no problem. They don't do it.
And how about the red color? I mean, like, is that the genes or is that a treatment for the arapaima?
What do you think?
I kind of think first is for me, if you ask me, is first the genes, second is the food, third is the condition. I mean, like the condition as in
here's what I think.
Everything.
And it sort of goes in with something what you just said, but the food for coloring, yes, if you spend more money on colorful, bright food, the colors that are already there will be more vibrant. I don't think it'll add more color. You know what I'm saying?
Color that already there, all right.
Will be more vibrant.
Okay.
Because if it's dark red like that, it might be bright red with that food. But it's not going to make more up. I'm thinking it's the genes of the fish, because I've seen arowanas with only the last little bit of their tail have the red. And arapaima. And I've seen other arapaimas, their whole body was covered in red,
Yes.
And they're at a zoo. They're not getting the best diet, They're getting scraps and leftovers, So I'm thinking it's genetics, and every arapaima we've gotten has been different. We grew up Big Brutus, or Big Bubba first, and he was covered in red. Same food that we're feeding Brutus, and he's not covered in red. It's now starting to spread up his side. He's going on 2.5 or little over 2.5 years now. It's starting to spread up his side, but he ain't nowhere near as red as Big Bubba was.
How about the age? I mean, like, does it do anything?
Yes, the older the fish, the more red it does get. I've noticed that. But what I'm getting at is we've had 2 big pimas on the same food. One had red and one don't. So that's why I'm thinking it's not the food, because we didn't change the food. It's got to be in genetics for the redness. And then the color enhancing food would bring that out brighter, but would do nothing more to give it more red, That's just from trial and error. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, okay. Because mine, he's getting a little bit more red, but not as red as yours.
And yours is the same size, if not bigger than ours, right?
I got him in 2019. So
Okay.
he's just like 3 years old right now.
Okay, about the same age.
Yeah, about the same age, 2.5, 3 years old. Yeah, but like he's not as fat as yours.
And what do you feed yours?
Just frozen food from the market.
Same thing we're doing. Do you give them whole fish? Because that is more healthy. If you can get them on like whole fish that are like
with
6, 8
the
inches.
guts and everything.
Yes.
I give them that.
If you do that, and you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't. I just give them the fillets.
Oh, okay.
So that again, you're giving better quality food, and yours is less red. I'm thinking it's genetics. You know.
And
because,
mine developed a drop eye on his left eye.
It's like okay.
50% drop eye.
You know what? I would change him down and do what we're doing. Just give him fillets and shrimp and see if that drop eye goes away. Because with eating the whole fish, you're getting the fat, you're getting the bones, you're getting the skin, you're getting the meat, you're getting the guts, the eyes, the lips, everything, you know? And there's a lot of fatty tissue in there. So if they're eating the fatty tissue and they develop fatty tissue, the eyes are going to go down. I've never seen it. I don't have it on mine. You know, maybe do a test and see if we're right. Feed them for, 3-4 months on just the shrimp and tilapia fillets.
Yeah, because like most of my fish, they are like really bulky, like really fat and everything.
Like Schwarzenegger in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're feeding whole fish, and that's the best form. That's what they eat in the wild. But again, have you ever been to jail?
Nope. Nope.
If you're sitting in jail, the brightest part of your day is letters coming in from the family or food. Okay. So if you've got nothing to do, you're they're in jail. They can swim this circle and that's it. They really don't have nothing to do. So when food comes in, that's the most exciting part of the day. And if you're feeding a lot and you're feeding them this, they're going to overeat, become fat, and they're going to have the big rich syndrome.
I see.
Well, here, let's go in here and I'll show you what the regular arapaima does that Brutus used to do. All right, it may be too early in the morning, but we shall see. Come on, buddy, come on out. Here he is. You ready? Oh, he popped at nothing. So there's our other Pima. Come on, buddy. We caught him sleeping, and I caught me slipping. Here you go. Are you ready? Come on. No? Okay. Well, he usually pops at the food really hard, and I give them these floating sticks, which are not this. Yeah, large floating sticks is all by Tetra. So he's still, the last one we grew to this size and put in there with him, Brutus killed overnight.
What?
They were fine all day, and together, we went to sleep. We woke up in the morning, and the small arapaima was sitting like this with his mouth out of the water, and we grabbed him up. He didn't move. We brought him back in here, and he died by the next day. Stress. By being a big fish keeper, some fish are really freaked out with stress, like the GATFs. They'll die in an instant from stress. Iridescent sharks bash into the walls and they die. The arapaima are a stress-related fish, and if they're picked on all night long, they'll just give up, and it's over with,
Okay, so for arapaima, can you have like two in the same tank?
Yeah, many people have done it. They've raised them together, or they put them in at the same size. I don't have another 5-footer or 5.5-footer to put in with Brutus.
But if it's like one is like a lot smaller and one is a lot bigger, it won't work.
I'm not saying it wouldn't. It hasn't for us. So that's why he's still in here and we're still growing him out. We're power feeding him. We feed him every chance we get. And we're only feeding them one time a day,
Okay.
because he don't eat the pellets that I throw in 5 times a day. So, yeah. A lot of theory in that, ain't there?
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing. Chinese bamboo. Bamboo in your overflows.
What does it do?
Well, that's another place you can put more plants. In your overflows. And the bamboo grows.
Which one do better, the bamboos or the
Oh, the pothos for sure.
Pothos,
Look at
yeah.
this pothos. It is covered over that whole thing, and I don't know if I can show you this or not.
What's that?
I can't lift it up. It won't fight. It's fighting me. The roots are about 2 foot hanging down from that
Oh,
styrofoam.
the root.
I put a piece of 4 foot by 4 foot styrofoam on there,
Yeah.
and every 6 inches is a hole about the size of 3 fingers, about that big around. And then I just put pothos in every one of those, and the roots grab, so the roots are underneath. I used to be able to lift that up, and you saw nothing but roots, you know. So, but anyways, the pothos grows there, and then what's that? 8 foot long. This is 3 foot over to here. This is 10 foot long. So we're talking 8, 9, 10, 11, 21 foot, and then we've got about 6 foot of growth here, so 27 foot long. They're still growing strong. Now, as far as maintenance on this, it's very, very low maintenance. Maintenance would be nothing but aesthetics. Like, if you don't like where the wood is, you'd have to get in there and move it. You
Or
know?
perhaps the rocks, you gotta recover the white tiles, something like that.
That's my biggest aggravation.
Why?
Okay? Because if you can see, the first 2 foot of these pebbles down here are a little smaller than the rest of the gravel over there.
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah.
I have to go down there and scoop that up with a bucket and bring them up here and pour it back in between all these once a month or so.
Oh.
And then it looks good for 2 weeks. It's the big fish coming by with their big tails, and then the rocks go boom, and they come out, you know. This is from the fish moving and trying to eat the food. So I have to get in there and take the rocks out of the center and evenly place them over here. What I'd like, and I've thought about this, what I'd really, really like is like, say, a steel rake about yay wide, and then on each side, a flat bar going across, on each side, a 2-inch, prong sticking down. That way I can scrape anything above 2 inches and pull it this way, so everything's an even 2 inches. I've thought about that, and it's easy to make. I can weld it. I just never got around to it.
I see.
Every time I'm in there, I'm like, I should have done that already.
So among all of these monster fish, which one is your favorite one?
Oh, Brutus for sure. That's my boy right there. Love him.
Yeah.
The Arapaima. Oh, one other thing for maintenance. See that cord right there? Sometimes the fish pull the cord up from under the rocks, and that goes to a power head over there. So I have to get in there, dig a channel all the way, put the cord in it, hold it with my foot, use my other foot and cover over it, slide my foot back, and keep doing this all the way until that's under the gravel again. Come out here, and you've seen the Dwight Howard tank, right? Do you know who Dwight Howard is?
Nope.
He's a famous basketball player, and he's really good. The show Tanked on TV built him this enclosure for his. This was a fish tank from here down. These are here because the lids went on here, and this was a community tank. And up here, this was for his Burmese python and his retic python. So they built it for him, and he left it at his house when he, moved from one city to another, and we ended up with it through Greg Whitstock. Now this looks horrible out here because it's winter time, and this is actually, it's pretty warm now compared to what it's been all winter. This has been covered in snow, but
Is there any fish in there?
every winter it covers over with all this algae, and then as soon as it gets warm enough for the fish to start coming up and being active, they eat all that within 2 weeks. It's all gone.
So you keep koi in there?
Yeah, there's ones over there. You can see the white ones there.
Oh yeah.
There's like 90 of them in there, a bunch of them. This is the pond I built for my wife, and then we put in this stamped concrete block cement patio over there, and then this is our river system. All them plants you see on the side of the pond go out here and sit in the river all summer long, and then they just grow. This summer we're going to split them in half and double the plants, and then we'll have to take them back in for next winter.
Okay. And how
But
do you...
this is part of the filtration. There's the overflow over there.
Okay.
It goes from there, and you see the pipe here? That goes all the way down bottom to the centipede, to the aqua blocks, to the layers of rocks, and that's a wetland filtration.
So is this pond still connected with?
No,
No,
no.
it's different, like a whole.
Well,
different...
this is cold water.
Cold water.
I could not heat the water inside. I keep that at 81 degrees. I could not do that with this ground surrounding the water. It would be bringing it down to 50 degrees because the ground is like 30 degrees.
So when the water is covered by ice, like how do the fish survive? I mean, like how do they live?
We leave this waterfall running all year long, and as long as there's a hole, the gases can escape. If it covers over with ice, even if you've got air, gases will build up under there and kill all the fish. So with leaving the waterfall running or leaving an air bubbler in the center, air will come up and bring the warmer water from the bottom up and leave a hole in the ice, and it'll just keep bringing the warmer water up. So you got to have air, or you got to have water splashing in, because this is coming up, you know, from there and traveling through. And you know, even when it was covered in ice and you can ice skate on it this winter, there was still a big 6-foot area where it was not ice.
And how deep is the pond?
5 foot.
5 foot. So let's say if the ice is covered like 40% on top of it, it will be.
Oh
still
no,
fine.
it's gotten maybe
20%?
maybe 4 inches. It don't get much more than that.
Oh, okay, I see.
You're talking
Wow.
Canadian weather.
Okay, I think we pretty much covered everything in this huge mega facility.
Oh, no, we can talk for hours more. You're not going home for a couple weeks, right?
Okay, and thank you so much, Rich, for having me here, and
Oh, no
thank you
problem.
for everything, for the tours.
Thank
and
you for
everything.
coming.
And do you have a word or two for all the fish keepers, especially monster fish keepers out there that are watching this video right now?
What to say to them? Wow. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, check on, check other monster fish keepers, and be sure to ask them. If you can run into a pickle and you don't know what to do, other monster fish keepers are readily available to help you out. I mean, I asked a bunch of people coming up and growing up and doing all this, and now people are asking me. I have no problems giving people pointers or help, or, oh, I went through that. The easiest way is this. You know, it's the easiest way to learn. Ask other monster fish keepers for sure.
Just don't be shy to ask, all right? Just
Yes.
don't be shy to ask, because
Don't be shy.
we have the internet right now. Maybe back then when you were starting all of this,
Yeah, it
there
didn't
was
have
no
much
internet,
of.
right?
It didn't have much, like there was no TikTok and no Snapchat and all that, but we did have monster fish keepers. It was a forum online, and you know, I had my few different people that I talked to. You know, that I was like, oh, they talked to me.
Okay, so I think that's pretty much it, because I gotta catch up the flight.
Oh, you got to go.
Yeah,
Okay.
I gotta go like quite soon. And thank you for everything once again.
Do you have a catch line, a catch tag?
Nothing.
Oh, we can use ours. Just say, and as always, stay fishy, my friends.
Stay fishy, my friends. All right. Okay, and see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.